Okay, all right. Let's get going through some of these comments. So the first comments that we're going to look at very quickly, we've already talked about them, are comments actually left in our videos. And you actually understand these and explain better. So both of, I think this one, so you've seen it, right? This one, the person explains that, go ahead, go explain that they would have had to vote for Republicans specifically or not voted at all for
All
Republican to
right.
have been nominated, right? If they would have voted for another Democrat, then it would have just kept on going until someone has the majority of votes, right?
Of
More or
course. Let's
less.
first, yeah, exactly. Yeah. First, let's give a big shout out to Evold Bracco for her fantastic hair or his fantastic, research skills and
Hmm.
knowledge on the issue because, like, I watched so many videos on YouTube and nobody could explain it to me, but he
Yeah.
did finally. What you need is a simple majority, but by votes cast by name, right? So that means that I forget what's the exact number. Let's just say 50 for the sake of argument, right? Out of 100. So you need, if you get 50, so if you get more votes than the other person, you win. But the votes need to be cast by name. So if progressive Democrats abstain, right, enough of them abstain, then Kevin McCarthy could become the next speaker, right? If they don't vote for anyone. But progressives weren't planning to abstain. They were planning to vote for Hakeem Jeffries or for Barbara Lee, perhaps, right? And by the way, both people said we don't want your vote. We support Nancy Pelosi, right? They could have done that. That's at their discretion. And in that case, nobody would have reached the simple majority because there are not enough Republicans to reach simple majority for them, right? And then basically would have meant that further negotiations and conflict within the party, shifting of alliances, that would have led to either a new leader or Pelosi giving some concessions to this side or to that side, that type of thing. That's what would have happened if she didn't reach simple majority. Other scenario that Kevin McCarthy could have become the leader was that a significant, let's say about 10 or 20 Democrats vote with Republicans
Hmm.
for him. But that scenario is extremely, I think it's just, so the people like Cenk Uygur and others who have argued that it's possible, like Sam Seder mentioned in that debate, he thinks it may have happened. Uh, it's extremely unlikely because progressives were not saying that you should abstain from the
Yeah.
vote. They were saying that you should vote for somebody else, cast by name, as it's technically called. And it was like neither progressives nor any other Democrats would have gone to voted for Kevin McCarthy. What if they mean that there is a significant number of uh, right-wing Democrats that would have voted for Kevin McCarthy to become the leader? Then I think that's a whole different debate about the fact that should a party which has two wings that are so opposite of each other even exist, that some of them would vote for Kevin McCarthy to, some of the right wing of the party because, they would be fed up with the
Yeah.
gridlock in the Congress or whatever. So, yeah, I think the arguments basically, so I think Ewald Bracco helped us to clarify that the arguments that, the force the vote may have handed the speakership to a Republican, he or she helped us to clarify that it's not possible, or it was extremely, 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 extremely unlikely.
Yeah. No. Perfect. Okay. Thank you for recapping that like this. So, do you have the next one under your eyes too? The one by Stephen Sray. So this one was
Yeah, yeah,
left just like
sure.
yesterday. So I believe this person is also saying the same
Oh, I
thing,
haven't
right?
read this.
But yeah, and they're also referring to the same article that explains it. But yeah, he says the only way a Republican could become speaker in this
Oh,
new Congress would have required Dems to vote for a specific Republican, so option one, or Dems to not vote at all, which will lower the numbers of received votes to claim a majority. So At the very least, he goes on saying that forced the vote could have yielded a different speaker other than Nancy, as she has proven to be a huge roadblock to change. Well, that's not at the very least. That would have been a huge accomplishment if they went through that. But yeah, I think Stephen is
No, but you
saying,
may get somebody just like Nancy
yeah,
Pelosi or worse. But
that's true.
at
Yeah, yeah. Well,
but I would
true. It's
argue
not
the
like
next person. Yeah, but the next person would come to power knowing that somebody like him or her, Nancy Pelosi, was outset
yeah.
because she never compromised. She never gave anything to the left. So, that would have a psychological effect on, even if you're a right winger, you might be more open to compromise.
Yeah, no, very, very good. So I think yeah, it's more than at least. I
But
think the minimum, the bare minimum that some people have argued is that then it'd be on paper who is for and who is against Medicare for all. There'll be record on it. That's kind of at least the. Okay, but now let's.
yeah, uh, I have a major disagreement with that argument. Sorry, quickly,
Yeah,
because they wouldn't have. It's just because it's. I mean, at the time we all thought that Senate would be in the hand of Republicans, so they wouldn't mind just voting for somebody that Biden is going to veto,
yeah.
as long as they're sure Biden is going to veto it.
Okay, so now let's move on to the comments made under the debate. Okay, at the Bad Fate podcast. So do you have the first one? I'm gonna
I
start.
haven't read any.
Okay, I'm gonna start from here. You don't have to
No,
prepare.
no, no.
It's the one that starts
Yeah,
with
I
Cenk
thought.
from Jacques Zai. Do you have that one under your eyes? Okay. So it says So this is Cenk apparently like talking to Anna. Anna, get in here. Briahna Joy Gray just called us a major player. This was so funny. So I think it's in reference to, Brianna saying you didn't do it and the Young Turks weren't involved. So, we missed out on a big chunk of the progressives. And
No,
I think she
Young
thinks that
Turks,
maybe Young Turks
Young
might have, yeah.
Young Turks is the biggest so-called progressive, outlet, and a lot of people that later on, Jimmy Dore included, that
Yeah.
don't agree with Young Turks started from there. So I get it. It's a
But
good
I
one.
think if you put the number of views and subscribers together and consistent number of views on issues, Kyle Kalinske is right up there because the Young Turks can go from like getting 30,000 on something important to suddenly 1 million, like their next viral video.
Mhm.
But Kyle Kalinske has this like
Yes.
steady, often like 70 to 200,000 always views. And so yeah, he's another huge
I mean, it's a
person
whole,
who
yeah.
put his name out there. So if you go on their website and which is mentioned all time, forced to
But
vote. But he wasn't that. Yeah,
Cenk used to be a, if I'm not mistaken, MSNBC or NBC host, and he
yeah.
does go on
MS.
CNN. He had a good relationship with, by the way, condolences to everyone. Larry King passed away because of COVID. And
Oh, the
yeah, he had a
COVID.
good relationship with Larry King. Their interviews are quite interesting. So he had a national profile of
Yeah.
some kind. Certainly more than Virgil, Texas, and Briahna. Although Briahna Greyjoy was the campaign communicator for Bernie Sanders, I forget.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. Okay, let's go to the next one. I kind of agree with this. So Rondo says first hour was pretty much arguing in a circle. That's kind of the impression that I
Yeah,
got. Okay. We're getting to the funny
makes
parts.
sense.
So this one says,
Yeah.
Virgil, were you going for a Christopher Hitchens vibe in this debate?
Because
Man,
of
it
the
looked
cigarette type.
too funny. Jim Kirby says, forced to vote was a good idea, but it turned in Jimmy versus TYT and it overshadowed the idea. With Francesca in the middle, steering things up. What do you actually think of Francesca? We never discussed her, and I didn't see her quite doing this.
I'm not sure who she is.
Oh,
Sorry
she's on the
about
Young
that.
Turks
Is
sometimes,
she
but
the comedian type
yeah,
girl that
yeah,
with short hair?
yeah,
She kind of like hipster, or yeah.
yeah,
I think I didn't know she. I have no idea how she commented on the issue.
yeah.
So
I didn't
whatever
see
I
that
say is that
either. And then it goes on saying, but
she
I'm
goes. She's in. Sorry.
yeah, no, go ahead.
No. She goes on. There is a British show I always talk about, Novara Media, and she went on there recently. That came to my mind. But she seems like an interesting character, so I hope it
Oh,
was
for sure. And
good.
she does a lot of things. I mean, I haven't heard her talk about here, but I first discovered on Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera English used to do this short YouTube videos on Facebook like 5 years ago. She was there. Okay, a person goes on saying, but I'm glad Sam and Bree did this and hope this leads into them being friends again. I would like to see Bree talk with the other haters on Force to Vote. I don't know if they were friends before, but it doesn't seem like. I think another comment, we can comment on this about their friendship and how it goes, but I don't know. I felt like they did, yeah.
Yeah, I think this person. I mean, I'm not. No offense, but it's just like went very personal, and yeah, I don't know. Were they friends before? Did they
I
break up?
didn't
What
get this
happened? I
impression
don't.
that they're gonna be friends after this.
Yeah, the personal dramas of the two.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this one,
Anyway,
Jaden says Virgil sipping whiskey and vaping during the debate is literally me. Okay, I thought it was iced tea. It had too much foam. There was no way he was sipping
oh,
on whiskey.
I really. To be honest, I really listen to the debates while
Uh,
like doing other stuff
yeah, no,
in
I
like with
same too.
headphones,
But
so
I
I
saw
don't
his
know.
glass
But I
once.
yeah, and he didn't get drunk by then, so
No,
I
not at
doubt it
all.
was
I
whiskey.
think it was iced tea. The next one, maybe you can understand this. Bearded Jaeger says Virgil Texas looked like he wandered into this from a Wes Anderson set. Do you know who that is?
Yeah. That definitely. Shout out to Bearded Jaeger because yeah, complete.
Okay,
Uh,
I don't get that
you know,
reference.
wh- have you seen Royal Tenenbaums?
No.
Grand Budapest Hotel? Grand
Yes.
Budapest Hotel is a
Yes.
that's
Few
a
years ago.
that's a
Okay.
everything is everything is symmetrical. People are very
Okay. Yeah.
French
Yeah. Yeah.
looking, and everybody's
Ah.
smoking, and
Okay.
everybody's very calm, and
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, definitely.
I see.
That's a great shout. I wish I
Yeah.
came up with that.
That's a funny one. He
Yeah.
got
Anyways,
94 likes for his efforts. Okay, the next one.
seven.
Yeah, Chantal Legal. Jimmy, he lives rent free in Seder's head. It does seem like it does seem
That's a
like
good one.
it's the case. That's hilarious. Okay, Marco Salcedo. I just came back to rewatch this. Okay. I just came back to rewatch this after Sam said he was admonished for 3 hours, and he definitely was not. In fact, he was dismissive towards every point Brie made. Also, who is that
Aha.
lady that at the end of the video that comes over to peg Virgil? Okay, forget about that last part. But okay, here's my impressions.
I don't.
Actually, I felt like he
Wait.
wasn't
Just
cutting her off, and she wasn't bad. They were having a heated argument, I would say. They were quite hostile towards each other, and beyond not agreeing with the subject, I would say it perhaps even seemed that personally they don't agree on like a lot of other things, or they don't get good, I don't know, energies and vibes. So I would just say that they seem like two people who kind of don't like each other having a heated debate. But I think besides that, they stuck to the rules as fairly as people could in an argument. I thought a debate.
uh, uh, I think with the snide comments, I actually meant what this person in the comments said. He was very dismissive. He was
But he's saying
extremely
no.
dismissive, in
Oh
my
yeah, okay,
opinion.
yeah, sorry, yeah, my bad, yeah,
He was very
yeah, that's the
she
thing.
was and I think that led to her becoming angry and somewhat animated, and yeah, like not a pleasant, perhaps as pleasant of debate, but overall I think it was one of the more pleasant debates and more substantial debates I've
Yeah,
seen, because it was between, they knew majority of the
yeah,
stuff they were talking about, they knew what it was, and
yeah.
yeah, I think it was a
I
good debate
wish,
overall.
actually,
I don't
wish
think it was
Virgil would have, would
that
have.
controversial.
Yeah, no, but I think I wish Virgil would have actually intervened more often, because when he did really bring it back to like a specific issue and being like, do you agree with this or not? So I thought he could have intervened more. He would have also had more, a better time if he just like intervened more. He was 3 hours of just chilling there.
I think he this is as good of a time as he can have. So yeah, in
Maybe.
that mood.
Okay, let's go. Okay. Lekim Nina says this is one of the most depressing things I've seen in months. It's a grand display of how powerless we are, such that any time it looks like there's a tiny window of opportunity to maybe change something, we're so freaked out about which little thing is going to derail it that we're ready to beat the shit out of each other over who's going to ruin opportunity. So I don't really agree with that take. I feel like
Censor yourself, huh?
yeah, I was like, I don't know, I don't want bots to detect me. But I think if you don't agree
No.
with an issue, you don't have to unite. You just should try to make the best arguments and leave the person's character out as much as possible. But just because a leftist suggests an idea doesn't mean everybody has to unite over it if you don't agree with the strategy and how good it is or the idea or whatever. Next one. Okay, this one
So
got 250 likes. Danny Taro says, at this point, I'm willing to sacrifice Medicare for all versus M4V, which is microphone for Virgil. Because
I don't get this. I don't get it.
his microphone looks like it's, I don't know, from God knows when. And
Oh, 100 years
people,
old?
yeah, I think people had issues with his audio or something. But
Oh, because to be honest, I
uh,
can't really talk in a microphone from 2012, I think.
yeah. Well, we just started. Okay, this one. Okay. Some lefties supported forced to vote, others didn't. But we all agree Virgil having a house phone is ridiculous. Did you hear that part?
Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
it
that
better
was
not
great.
have been his house phone. It better have been like what's it, when you call someone from downstairs? I forgot the word. But anyway,
Oh, but
if he had a
yeah, having a
telephone that
landline in
loud
this day and age,
in his loud while you do podcasts for a living, I couldn't believe that. That was
very.
too funny. Okay, one more.
And I love how nobody even mentioned it.
Yeah, and no, Bree gets fed up at one point. It's like, let me mute him. I don't know why he wasn't on
Yeah.
mute. And then, okay, this one actually got 805 likes. Rocket City Rocker says Virgil takes us through this entire video. Looks like he's being forced to watch a video of his dad taking a shower. Man, what else is the poor guy supposed to do?
Yeah, it's just like
Man, that's why like moderators talk a lot in debates because they get bored too. You want to get in there as well.
getting.
You know, okay, that was it. Okay, those were great. That was really fun.
Oh, what about? I got another one you sent me.
Read it out. Which one is it?
We need a mass movement,
Oh yeah. I forgot about that one because that
which
one's
I
just.
personally completely disagree with.
Oh really?
We, I prefer a few selected people in positions of power doing a coup d'etat or something.
Okay. On that note, we'll move on to our next video, but we'll
Let's
come back to
continue.
these kind of discussions actually.